what happened was I put it down, and I moved. My life changed. Things happened, and I ended up in Los Angeles. And I was living in this lovely little home with some very spiritually aware people. And one of them had The Disappearance of the Universe, which I brought so you could all see. And this book is by Gary Renard. I was sitting on the coffee table in our living room. And I asked my roommate, what is that? What book is that? She goes, oh, that book. She goes, I had to put it down. I couldn't read it. And I said, really? I want to know what that's about. So I picked up The Disappearance of the Universe and I read it. And what was great is that it's a book that totally explains what the Course in Miracles is really all about. It gave me a context. It gave me a way to understand what I was reading, that this wasn't a novel, and that it was designed to really help us undo or unlearn a lot of stuff that wasn't really very helpful. So I kind of think of the Course as a course in unlearning or undoing. The Course teaches that nothing real, which is eternal spirit, can be threatened or destroyed, and that nothing unreal, such as the illusory world of time, exists. So the goal of A Course in Miracles is to help us become aware of who we really are, and who everyone else really is, which is eternal spirit, which has nothing to do with the physical body or the world. It encourages right-minded thinking with our higher self, or what the Course calls the Holy Spirit, as opposed to our small self or our ego. But because the idea of separation seems real to us, we identify very much with our body and with our ego, which is basically the part of us that appears to die. So as long as we identify with that which dies, then there will always be the fear of death. If you think you're your body, if you think you're your personality, then, of course, the idea of death is very frightening, because it's like that would be the end of us. So what this book and many other spiritual paths out there are trying to get us to grasp the idea that we are an eternal spirit having a physical experience. And there is a phrase that's repeated over and over throughout the Course. It's in the text, it's in the workbook, which is, I am not a body, I am free, for I am still as God created me. And I have to say that, I've been studying this, reading it, applying it for 9 years, but no matter how many times I repeated that phrase, I might as well have been saying, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. It's like the idea of mantras, right, or affirmations. I really understood early on that repeating an affirmation was kind of useless if I didn't believe it, or couldn't really relate to it, or really feel it. So I don't really recommend doing something like that, although in this case, the Course, there's a lot of repetition in the Course, and that's on purpose. It's like sometimes your mind has to read something or hear it over and over and over in order to actually accept it and retain it. In my case, I can't tell you how many books that I've read where, I've been hearing the same message over and over, and always had trouble really grasping the experience of it. So I have to say that on the positive side, I've had many beautiful experiences doing workbook lessons from the Course that have brought me to a place of knowingness, of experiencing my eternal self. And that's what the goal really is to remember that you have an eternal self, that that's who you truly are, and to see beyond the illusion of time, of space, of bodies, and suffering.